We live? I think we're live. It's been so freaking long since I last went live. I actually got a couple jitters before starting stream. But welcome in, everybody. Namely, congratulations, 2K. You are first. Welcome in, Mayhem. And long time no see, the one who asked 79. How you been? I know my stream time is not exactly friendly towards European time zones, but I guess I'm playing the Ocarina right off the bat. Alright, here we go. Ballad of the Windfish. Actually, I can do that. Let me pull up the sheet music for Ballad of the Windfish. Give me just a moment. I can do this. One moment. So before we even begin, I'm gonna attempt to hit y'all with Ballad of the Windfish as requested by Core. One moment, let me take this off. Bam. Okay, Ballad of the Windfish. Let me pause the music. Where is my... I lost my music asset. There we are. Bam. Okay, here we go. Ballad of the Windfish. What key is that? Don't worry about it. Oh, wrong one. It'd help if I did that. Wait, that's a high G. You can't play that note, by the way. No! 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 I'm losing my buttons. Hold on. Okay. What happened there? I can't play it on that ocarina. I need to grab a different ocarina to play this. 1 second. I'll get into all this in a second. I got this. Take 2. Here we go. Here we go. Crap. Wow. Close enough. That was it. Ballad of the Windfish. I hope you liked it. But yes, that is what we're doing today, is ocarina stuff. I hope you enjoyed that. I didn't even turn on reverb.
I'm losing my buttons, I'm losing my ocarinas, I'm losing my patience, I'm losing my time. I'm losing at everything.
Well, Lamau, just stop losing. But yes, today's stream is very cursed. I've scheduled this stream twice already. The first time I tried to do it, it had to be postponed. The second time I tried to do it, it had to be postponed even further. To the point where I have completely forgotten what I wanted to do for this stream, so fuck it, we do it live. Would you like a chocolate orange as a prize for the attempt? No thanks. Chocolate orange would go terrible with what I'm drinking right now, which is my standard Gekkekan sake. You know what? Jamie, pull up the sake I'm drinking. Let me turn on the light. Let me grab my off-screen TV. Let me do this. This is what I'm drinking. I actually got a bottle. We're drinking. We're gonna have a good time. Okay. We put the TV away. It's fine. So, today, ocarinas. Rather be cursed than blurst. I mean, this might as well be blurst. So, I'm already kind of tipsy, so we're off to a great start. I started drinking like 10 minutes before stream, just because I was starting to get nervous because I haven't been live in so long that I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, we do it live. Ocarinas. Most of you probably know ocarinas from Ocarina of Time. So if you just Google ocarina, this is what you're gonna get. You're gonna get a ton of Ocarina of Time replicas along with other things. You are almost positioned right on the mini TV for your model's head to be almost right there, placed to a proportion of your own. Don't worry about it. Him losing the trip to the moon caused him to relapse. Listen, I've never been to the moon, okay? I've been to the Mun in Kerbal Space Program. That's always fun. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do Kerbal Space Program streams. Those might be fun, but honestly, I'm not sure how I can make it entertaining. I'll think about it. I've been considering it. However, back to ocarinas after I take a sippy. Full disclosure, I'm drinking alcohol. I even turned on the stream tag for it. If you are offended by alcohol, you've come to the wrong place. Co-op with it? There's no co-op yet. Like, listen, okay. Kerbal Space Program tangent for a second. So, Kerbal Space Programs 2 development got completely dropped. There are currently 0 developers working on the game, as far as I'm aware. You could thank the publisher. I despise the publisher so much that I can't even remember their name. But, yeah, they done goofed big time. But that's that. The game's in a state of limbo. It could have been great. Unfortunately, it is not. I mean, what the game is right now, it's playable. There's still plenty of bugs and stuff. But it's a shame that it was dropped. Kerbal Space Program 1 is pretty good, though. In any case, so back to ocarinas. They went live service. No, I don't freaking know. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I'm out of the loop with a lot of things. Oh, man. I'm drinking, and I need food. It's a good thing I have this food right here. And unlike that other stream, I'm actually going to eat it. Hold on. Mukbang time. Okay. So, with a mouth half full of rice, and I'm already tipsy, with all this further ado, we're gonna finally talk about ocarinas. Now, there's one thing I want to get out of the way. If you want to get this ocarina from Amazon, you're gonna get a piece of shit. Do not buy this ocarina. This ocarina is horseshit. It sounds bad, it's out of tune, it's airy, it's a decorative piece. If you want a cheap decorative piece that you can't play at all, go for it. If I were to make a recommendation, the STL Ocarina of Time is the one I have, and it sounds lovely. It's expensive though, at 60 bucks. Songbird has a perfect replica of the Ocarina of Time seen in the game, known as a pendant ocarina. It's shaped weird, plays like a pendant, but it is chromatically in tune and can be played. It just requires a learning curve, and it's only $30. So $30 is like the entry point for most plastic ocarinas, but I am getting way ahead of myself. Ness, is this also a caffeine stream? You seem really high energy for boost. Listen! Your boy is spurging for once, okay? When you have somebody of the puzzle piece demographic who is talking about a subject that is of their interest that I have been invested in for the past several months, you can bet they're gonna be high energy. Plus alcohol. Alcohol brings out the energy. If anyone's met me in real life, they know I am just a ball of energy, or I'm in the corner and just pure silent. There's no in between with me. Can we just say do not buy from Amazon? Yes! Only got 8 hours of sleep after waking up at 3 a.m. for the past several days? Yes, that is right. Not to trauma dump or anything, but literally the past 6 days I've been waking up at 3 a.m. So, for work and an errand that I had to run for my parents. But that's neither here nor there. I'm better now. Sleep is for the... No. Sleep is for the responsible and healthy individuals. That's it. That's the message I am conveying. By the way, I can confirm this. He wasn't this high energy earlier. I wasn't, because I was saving it for this. And I've been drinking, and that brings out the energy. Your condolences, thank you. He took my energy and ran with it. Yes, because you took my game and ran with it. You frickin' to the moon. My memories and frickin' 3 points. Or frickin' 2K beat me by 3 points in the To the Moon game earlier in the Discord. By the way, I have a Discord. I mean, for those who don't know. I host events nearly every weekend. This weekend was game night. Next weekend is a very special karaoke night. You want to be there for this, trust me. Only because of the final pickup card? Yes, it was one of the turnabouts of all time. The very last play of the game swung the game in his favor. And honestly, that's about as poetic of a loss as I can accept. We take those. Oh wait, no, we don't wait. We move on, it's fine. I get to do Turkey Day karaoke song? Yo, yes you do! Yo! Oh, I'm looking forward to that. It's a yearly tradition. 2K brings a special Thanksgiving karaoke song to karaoke. So, I highly recommend this. This weekend's karaoke is gonna be very special. Oh, speaking of recommendation for game day, Ono99, a variation of Uno. DM it to me, please. I will forget. You know I'm drinking. Just DM that exact same message to me, please. In any case. Onwards! I haven't even started talking about ocarinas! It's funny, because you see all these ocarinas? There's actually 2 types of ocarinas. There's your standard 12-hole transverse ocarina, that's shown here. And then there's the pendant ocarina, which has either 4 or 6 holes, depending on how it works. I haven't played a pendant ocarina, that's not true. My parents got me a old, out-of-tune Ocarina of Time pendant ocarina that I tried to learn how to play, but I was all like, man, this is kind of lame, but it looks really cool. But I still have it. I might try to learn how to play it, but I prefer my ocarinas that I have now, which I will get into later in the stream. So, who's DMing? Oh, right. Who's DMing me? Asked Ness, who literally requested that Core DMs me. Certified streamer moment. You know, maybe I should hold off on more drink. As I take another drink. Okay! Ocarinas. You blow in them. They make sound. This is what they sound like. That is the sound of a recorder. Oh. Core. No. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna refund 2 of those, because new Twitch TOS actually prevents that sort of behavior. That said, I am gonna redeem one of them and take a very healthy swig of my bottle. Here we go. It's a hydrate. Listen, that redeem is a general drink whatever you have on hand. For the record, I do have my water bottle. In fact, Jamie, where's my water bottle asset? I did that. I do all my stream prep and I don't even get my water bottle asset. Where the heck is my water? There it is. Bam! Water. Ladies and gentlemen, I have water. Life is good. Okay, now that I have my water, I can proceed. In fact, everybody, take a hydrate. It's water time. If you have water around, drink it. If you don't have water, get some water. Okay, so, for the nth time, to attempt to get back on topic, I stand by using Gatorade to help rehydrate from booze. I stick to Gatorade the day after. I drink water during and Gatorade after. I may be wrong about that, but that's just how I've operated. But with Ocarinas, for the majority of this stream, I'm mainly going to be talking about the transverse 12-hole Ocarinas, like this one and this one. It's called transverse because you hold it up to your mouth like this, and you can see that my hands are holding it like in a horizontally laid position. Not unlike how I'd play my recorder, which would be like a vertical position. That's how you would hold one of these. Actually, let's see. I did look up a pendant ocarina. So, pendant ocarinas, they come in all shapes and sizes. STL has a vast collection of weird pendant ocarinas, and we'll be looking at them later. But a pendant ocarina, let me see if I can find a good one. I mean, this one, here's a good reference photo. So this one has 6 holes. That's different. It's like a recorder if the recorder was a ball. That's actually a good that's a good analogy. Unironically, yeah. And just because it's a pendant, it's called a pendant, but that does not necessarily mean you wear it around your neck. For example, if I look up a base pendant ocarina, these things are massive. Like, it's hard to tell from the size, but these things are very large. Like, you can see, like, these guys holding up these base pendants. We'll get into, like, different sizes of ocarinas later. But just back to pendant ocarinas to get them out of the way before I start talking about transverse ocarinas a lot, which that's gonna be the focus of this stream. Pendant ocarinas are just a type of ocarina. I believe, after doing a bit of research on the subject, there isn't objectively a better ocarina. It's literally down to a matter of preference. Each one has their ups and downs. Pendants are easily more fashionable. They have a slightly different learning curve. It's not necessarily a harder learning curve, it's just a different learning curve. And I might consider learning how to play a pendant, because there's a lot of pendants that look really cool. And in fact, while we're on pendant ocarinas, why don't we, where's my other tab? Let's open another tab. Okay. So, this is STL, but we're just gonna look at their pendant ocarinas, because they have a lot. And the pendant ocarinas are really cool. So, not sponsored, by the way. Their pendant ocarinas, they have lots of Zelda-themed ocarinas, but the cool thing about pendant ocarinas, as you can see, they can be shaped in pretty much any shape you want. They have every Chinese zodiac available. And I've shared these in the Discord. There's the whale, the dolphin, there's like a little goldfish, there's a crab. Spoiler alert, I ordered the crab for myself. I saw that Power Rangers one. Yes, they have a literal playable Dragon Dagger ocarina. You know what? Why don't we watch their video on the Dragon Dagger ocarina? Why not? I haven't actually seen this ocarina. The Power Rangers Dragon Dagger ocarina. You can't hear it because I have desktop audio disabled. One moment. The sword that was put against a fully sealed helmet was played like a flute. Yeah, they actually made it though. This is playable. There's even a fingering chart for it. And it was a synth? Yes, it was. I haven't seen the Power Rangers, but... as you can see, it's a playable ocarina. It's classified as a pendant, even though it plays like a transverse. It's pretty cool. But yeah,
If you like, turn the dagger around and play it like a whistle.
I ended up getting a pretty sizable novelty pen made of metal. Unfortunately, one of my nephews thought it sounded cool and used it as a drumstick. Now all I'm left with is a pen dent.
God damn it, okay. But yeah, by the way, SGL is currently having their Black Friday sale. It's an early Black Friday sale, 30% off of everything with a discount code. I'm not even sponsored. I'm just telling you guys, if you are curious about an ocarina, they have really freaking cheap pendant ocarinas, like a $10 pendant ocarina made of plastic. I'll get into materials later, but a $10 plastic ocarina is pretty good from SGL, in my opinion. Well, let me get the music back on. All right, so this is their collection, and as we scroll down, SGL has a lot of stylized ocarinas. This ladybug one is really cute. They have rupee colored ones. They have fashionable actual pendant ones with a necklace, and fruits, if you're into that. But yeah, pendant ocarinas. I don't really have too much to say about pendant ocarinas, mainly because I have very little experience with them. But if you want to play a pendant ocarina, there are many resources available, and there is fingering charts, and I can even point you in the right direction if you have any questions. But on to the main event, the 12-hole transverse ocarina. This guy. They come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. They come in all sorts of different ranges. They come in all sorts of different sounds. And just for completion's sake, I'm gonna show you what one sounds like. From the top. Here we go. This is the full scale. I'm not gonna play any chromatics, but they are... You know what? Fuck it. Let's play the chromatics. That's the highest note unless you do a pro gamer move like this. That's an advanced technique. That's really hard to do. Don't worry about it. So that is all the notes on an ocarina, and you're probably wondering how this ties into Ocarina of Time. Don't you worry, I will be talking in depth about Ocarina of Time. This is gonna be a fun stream. So, a lot of people are curious. They see a transverse hole ocarina like this. And let me find a good reference photo. Something, oh, here we go. Here's a good photo. This is what one looks like. This is, actually, there's plenty of ocarinas. But yeah, they see an ocarina like this. They see all of these holes, and they're like, man, this looks really difficult to play. Did not a Twitch app alert for this stream? Twitch is late. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Thanks for being here on time, by the way. Y'all are on time. That's like crazy. I love it. Yeah, I love you guys. Awesome. I said it. I'm drunk. I said it. Let's fucking go. But a lot of people see this ocarina, and it has so many holes, and it's like, what the heck? This is probably really difficult to play, and I'm gonna demonstrate to you that it's not. And how I'm gonna do that is by doxing myself. So what I have here, actually, you know what? No. Let's grab the plastic 12-hole Ocarina of Time. So this is a coveted item. This is only 25 bucks, by the way. You could get a fully playable plastic Ocarina of Time for 25 bucks. It's nice. It comes with the neck strap so you don't drop it, but even if you do drop it, it doesn't matter. It's made of plastic. This thing's basically indestructible. Speaking of junk, I had to get more Sprite today because of a very specific mixed drink. Well, have fun with that. But what I wanted to show off with the ocarina, so a lot of people recognize from Ocarina of Time how to hold it, but here's how you hold an ocarina. So the front of the ocarina is all the holes, but on the back, you have 2 thumb holes. So as I struggle with the camera, your thumbs go here. This is the sound hole. If you cover this, no sound comes out. Check it. So you don't need to cover that. If you do cover it, your thumb will be covered in spit. Gross. Don't worry about it, it's fine. So you cover the holes with your fingers here. Both thumbs rest on these thumb holes here. And bam, you're playing the ocarina. You're ready to play the ocarina. When you first start playing the ocarina, it actually feels a little weird how transverse you have to hold it. In fact, I actually hold it at a slight angle, so even though my mouth is pointing straight down, the ocarina comes in at like a slight angle, as I should probably look at myself and not the mirrored camera image, but it's fine. So, how you play the ocarina, it's very simple actually. It's actually easier to play than a recorder. And I'll demonstrate that right now. With an ocarina to play a regular scale, this basic C major scale, it's very intuitive. Starting with your left hand, you just lift up your leftmost finger, your pinky, and then you just follow the fingers. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. A key moment is to keep your pinky covered. You just keep your pinky anchored. Your pinky will only be raised for the highest note, as I'll demonstrate, but we're not going to do that yet. So I'll demonstrate how it sounds right now. So this is just a basic scale, lifting up my fingers in succession, one at a time. Dang it, I failed the QTE. Anyway, it's simple. You can play a lot of songs with just a basic C major scale. The ocarina does have a range of an octave and a fifth, but you don't need to worry about that yet. Throughout that scale, I did not raise the thumb holes at all. Those will come in handy for the higher notes. But to play the same thing on a recorder, the fingerings are a bit different, especially with the Baroque fingering that I've got here. Ness is quick with that music. I tried. So, with a recorder, like you learned in elementary school, the C, low C, soprano recorder by the way, is all holes covered, then pinky up, then middle finger up, but then after that, to play the E, you actually, for a Baroque fingering, you cover the bottom two. I have a bad habit of covering the bottom one, and you can barely hear the intonation difference. Let me demonstrate. Ah! There we go. Have to do it every time. Sorry, force a habit. So, and then after that, after E, after C, D, E, here we go. I have lost all dexterity, holy shit. And then F is, and then it goes. And then for the final note, notice how the last two notes, instead of lifting up your middle finger, you actually lift up your index finger. And that's how you play the high B. And then C, you lift up your thumb. So it goes. Let me do this. Ah! Misinformation. To play the high B, it is this, but then you go back down with your middle finger and the first one raised. And you keep this covered. I play this note a lot because it's actually the first high note that I learned in order to play Unravel. Anyway, that's enough recorder. This is an ocarina stream. Let me throw that there. Alright, that's enough of me. Get my ugly mug out of the way. Let me do this and get the music back on. Where's my music? Hey, there we go. So, transverse ocarinas are easier to learn than what you played in elementary school. So if you had any doubts about getting into a ocarina and literally becoming Link from The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, you can rest assured that if you learned how to play recorder in elementary school like most Americans did, ocarinas are actually easier than that to get into. There is a pretty high skill ceiling with an ocarina, like with any instrument, but with ocarinas, I like the way they sound. Like, I'm just gonna do a quick sound comparison. You know what? Fuck it. Let's get me back on. Wait, I'm losing my, there we go. So, ocarina scale, side-by-side sound comparison. Versus soprano recorder, like you're used to. Ah, it's fine, I haven't played this thing in a while. Thanks. I like how the freaking recorder hit my numpad and it did the exact facial expression that I wanted. What about your big, fancy, and expensive ocarina? That's on the stream tomorrow. Spoiler alert, I have more fancy ocarinas than what I'm going to show on this stream today. But because I've been drinking, let me get the music back on. That is not the music stream. There we go. Okay, so because I've been drinking, one thing to know about ocarinas is they're made of different materials. And the ocarinas that I have here are made of plastic. Plastic is fine. You could do whatever the hell you want with them. These things are basically indestructible. Other materials that I'll showcase tomorrow, if you play them after drinking, the alcohol will get stuck inside the ocarina, especially the wind cavity chamber right here. And that will affect the tone quality and stuff. And with expensive ocarinas like that, I don't want to do that. So yeah, come to stream tomorrow and I'll showcase those. Next, when he walks back to the music store, we have 100,000 units red and 100,000 more on the way! Yeah. But I do have a decent selection of plastic ocarinas I will be showing off for this stream. The other half of this stream, I guess, will be tomorrow afternoon, where I showcase the more expensive varieties, because they're made of different materials. You know what? I'm not gonna play it, but just so I don't dox myself, let me go ahead and grab... I showed this off in the collab stream with SG Mini Nikki. And what I'm about to show you here is... I can't play it because I'll damage it. But this is the STL Ocarina of Time. Its tone quality is beautiful. I love it. I'm not playing it because for reasons I just explained. I've been drinking alcohol. I don't want to damage it. So I keep it in its bubble wrap in its box that it came in, out of the way, so I don't accidentally damage it. But I did want to show this off. It comes with a neck strap. It's made of ceramic. It is very fragile. So I guess this is a nice segue into different ocarina materials. And so far I've talked about two materials, ceramic and plastic. So while I put this away...
Speaking of being strapped, I refuse to ever go bungee jumping. Not only am I afraid of heights, but I was brought into this world due to a broken rubber, and I'm not gonna leave because of one.
Okay, back to materials. Different materials. I showed off ceramic, and I'm gonna show off plastic. So the trade-off between plastic and ceramic, I will have to admit, the plastic ocarinas, their sound quality isn't as good, but as I've demonstrated on stream, they sound just fine. For example, if you wanted to play the Song of Time... How did the Song of Time go? I'm drunk. Shit. Oh, wait, I got it. It sounds just fine. I strongly recommend, if you get into ocarinas, get a plastic one. These things, indestructible, basically. I've thrown this thing across the room before. This particular one is called the Knight by Noble. It's a very highly recommended starter ocarina. That said, I just as easily recommend the STL plastic Zelda ocarina that I'm holding here. They sound very similar. That was the reverse Song of Time from Majora's Mask. It's fine, don't worry about it. So, yeah. I recommend plastic ocarinas. They sound just as good. They're half the price, basically. They're fantastic. I love them. Like, I actually play these plastic ocarinas more than my expensive ocarinas. And I should probably change that now that I'm getting more experienced as an ocarina player. Which is kind of funny to say. I picked them up as a joke, but I'm starting to get good. So, do with that what you will. Let me get back to the Google search here as I take a bite of my food. Oh. Okay, milk stream, by the way. Ocarinist. Yeah, so an ocarinist is just like the word for someone who plays the ocarina. Like a trumpeter or a tromboner. Emphasis on the trom, by the way. I actually debated on picking up trombone, but I ultimately decided against it. I don't see myself as a very experienced trombone player. For the record, 2K and Resta both play trombone. And, I actually look forward... I've been kind of thinking, maybe, just maybe I could talk them into picking up the trombone again as a serious instrument. Tromboner is wild, yes! If I picked up the trombone, it would probably be because Trombone Champ. I love that game, even though I've never played it, but I have it. 2K bought me that game, and I can actually consider playing it. It's on Switch, though. If I do play it, I'm gonna be using the frickin' motion controls, because why not? Okay! Back to Ocarinas. So, it is getting really dark, and it's only 12:30. What the hell? Don't worry about it. Don't ask why I'm drinking at 12:30, okay? I've had a rough week, and I'm having a great time. So! Here's this Ocarinas. I love these things. I got curious, because, I can't type. Holy shit. Wow. 4th time's a charm. There we go. That's how drunk I am. Let's fucking go. If anyone has played Ocarina of Time, they know that there's an ocarina in it. And I feel like that is most people's exposure to the ocarina as an instrument. Nothing wrong with day drinking, just as long as you aren't doing it in public society. We live in a society. And I'm like as least public as you can get. It's fine. But yeah, I try not to be an alcoholic. I haven't drank. I exclusively drink on one day of the weekend, not both. So, or not even Friday. Like, if I'm gonna drink on a weekend, it's either Saturday or Sunday or neither. I condone safe drinking habits, and that's what today is. I just wanted to get a little tipsy because this is Tipsy Talk. It helps me get over my inhibitions from, being scolded for talking too much about my interests when I was a kid. Anybody who's on the spectrum can relate. I was never diagnosed. There are many things dangerous in this world. And one of them, pretty low on the list, but one of them is someone who's autistic but doesn't know he's autistic. Don't worry about it, it's fine. So, Ocarina of Time, great game. Not the greatest game ever, but it cannot be denied. This game is a landmark and revolutionized a lot of... It basically set the tone for what modern gaming would become. Modern being the freaking 2000s. I'm old, my mind is still stuck in freaking 2000-ish. Don't worry about it. When you say 5 years ago, I think, oh, 1995, right? No. That shit was 2019. Like, bruh. Anyway. But in Ocarina of Time, I never got scolded for oversharing or anything like that, but I have had friends ditch me because I had a tendency to narrate my gaming like I was a streamer. I no longer really narrate. I had to force break myself out of that narration block to be a streamer. That was one of the hurdles I had to overcome, is to just speak. Just let your mind flow. Let it flow out. I will share one of the pitfalls of many beginning streamers is that they don't talk enough. Also, it's really freaking dark in here. Let me turn on the light. Give me a moment. So the cool part about my recorder, it acts as the Poindexter from Futurama, and that I can use it to, like, extend my arm and turn on the light switch without actually having to take off my headphones. It's great. But yeah, what was I talking about? Ocarina of Time. That's what's on the screen. Let's talk about Ocarina of Time. Koji Kondo, I think that was the composer for Ocarina of Time, he was given only 5 notes to work with, I believe. Like, Ocarina of Time's music was built around the transverse 12-hole ocarina that I've been talking about this whole time. Be like radio hosts, where they have a genuine warning light in some stations if it's quiet for more than like 3 seconds. That's a good idea. Right, I was talking about streamers. Basically, if you're a streamer, keep talking. Like, silence in a stream, unless you're watching a cutscene, is like, not necessarily a red flag, but it kills the momentum of the stream. You wanna always be yapping, and that's what this drink is for. Sippy time. Okay, so, in Ocarina of Time, you are given 5 notes to play. They are D, F, A, B, and high D, and they sound like this. And with those notes, I can play every Zelda song. That wasn't part of the freaking 5-note list. But all of those notes, they comprise of every Ocarina of Time Ocarina songs. There we go. So you'll notice that all of the songs here, they kind of repeat themselves, most of them. And they're all, the first parts of the songs, they all use just those 5 notes, which I think is musical genius. And the neat part is that if you have an actual 12-hole ocarina, you can play the full versions of most of the songs. The exception is the Bolero of Fire. It exceeds the range of a 12-hole ocarina. Hence why I value streamers that have a variety of interaction options, which is why I avoid almost all non-independent streamers. You only really have the basic redeems that every stream has. Neat part about Twitch, you can have as many or as little redeems as you want. One of my favorite YouTubers, Summoning Salt, he actually has disabled channel points on his channel. It is an optional feature. You don't need it. And, I do really like the channel points and interaction stuff. I feel like that is a huge plus that Twitch has over YouTube streaming, because you guys can redeem whatever the heck you want. And, well, within reason, I set the rules, but it's like I cut, you choose. That's an underrated game mechanic. But the channel points, you need to accept the affiliate agreement for that. So the trade-off is that you get ads on your stream, or at least ads you can have authority over, kind of. I feel like Twitch is pushing ads onto non-affiliated streamers, but that's not my jurisdiction. What is the point is that with the affiliate agreement, you can have channel points. And that's one of the big pushes why a lot of streamers want affiliate, is so they can have channel points and really boost that interaction with the audience. Because if you're not interacting with your audience, then you're a really popular corpo VTuber who is very successful for whatever reason. I don't know. The plus to YouTube streaming is that your ad block actually works! Yes! I agree. Which is why I try to minimize ads. I have underneath the stream my plan to minimize ads for you guys. So my break time is very strategic, and I encourage you all to take breaks with me. Grab some water, grab some tea, grab a snack. Tune off stream if you want. That is your decision, whatevs. But if you want to stick around, I wholly appreciate it. And I'm gonna... The show's not gonna stop. It just gets paused for a little bit. Back to Zelda songs. So, I mentioned that the ocarina has a limited range. And that range, after the high C, goes like this. So, volume warning, the high C on a ocarina peaks my microphone. That's a hardware issue. I can't do anything about it, but it sounds like this. You cannot play higher than that. Well, you can if you cup your hands really weird. You know what? I might as well show it off. Give me a moment. Okay, so... if you let go of everything, you know what? This is a good opportunity to demonstrate how to play high notes in an ocarina. So after playing the scale, you basically uncovered everything except your pinky and the 2 thumb holes in the back, right? So to play the next notes, you lift your left thumb first, like this. And it's recommended practice that you just slide it over so you can still support the ocarina. Because you may have noticed that I've wrapped my pinky around here. That's just like a natural consequence. You'll notice that if you lift your hands off the ocarina, how are you supporting the ocarina if you have to move your thumbs? The only points of contact I have are both of my thumbs and my pinky. And if I have to lift one of my thumbs, the ocarina is going to fall. So there's lots of method books and helpful YouTube videos that explain ocarina for bare bones beginners. One of my most recommended YouTubers, his name is David Eric Ramos. He is a professional ocarina player, and he has a fantastic video series for ocarinas for complete beginners. And I'm talking, when I say beginner, I mean someone who has literally never touched a musical instrument in their life, has no idea what sheet music even is, doesn't even know what a note is. And it's purely from zero. He teaches you good habits and it's fantastic. Despite having decent musical background, I enjoyed learning the ocarina with him, and he has a fantastic course on YouTube to get started. The only thing I know is pre-roll ads run things for build a fan base, ruin things. I can't read. Thank the guy who used the name Pirate Software, which is a company and not a command. He pointed out that if you're trying to check out some of the new pre-rolls, basically deter people that don't already know you. I do it on purpose. For those who don't know, I purposely inhibit my own growth. I don't want to be popular. I truly don't. If I hit 1,000 followers, I will genuinely debate if I want to continue doing this. But until then, I'm having fun. I feel people would know about notes like the note they use in Accused to get out of Ocarina lesson! Damn it! Okay. So, how you play higher notes on the ocarina. After C, you lift your left thumb and you just put it off to the side so you're still supporting the ocarina. And it sounds like this. And then after that, you lift your right thumb off. So this is them covered. It's easier to see on this ocarina. Here we go. So hold it right. There we go. So you have this thumb off, then this thumb off, like that. And then the final note is the F, the high F on the top of the staff. You just move your pinky out of the way. All holes uncovered. And there you have it. That's all the notes. Now, what I wanted to showcase, it's easier to do on this ocarina, is...
Don't wanna grow too bad, have to make the stream wander better.
Thanks. Thanks! I don't have any witty comeback to that, but thank you. I'm sorry. Okay. The higher note. Higher than an F. I learned this from YouTube. If you... this is some black magic. Get ready for some black magic. Take your thumbs, cup them like this. Hold it like this, right? Hold the ocarina like this and cover, basically make an air pocket out of the sound hole like this. And with enough practice, you can make a high F. And it's inconsistent unless you like perfect it. And if I don't do that, notice how it's higher. It's weird, but that's how you can hit the high G on a standard 12-hole transverse ocarina. If you want to get higher range than that, get a soprano ocarina or a multi-chambered ocarina, which I will be getting into momentarily. Until then, get back to this. Okay. And then there's the ultra high ear piercing note. Give it time. Now's not the time. You guys are not ready for the A7. I'm not gonna do the A7 just yet. I'm not even ready for the A7. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But Ocarina of Time music. What I really like about Ocarina of Time music is that the ocarina songs genuinely help you learn the ocarina. Like, I actually honestly recommend some of these songs to learn the ocarina with. Bitch says I'm not ready when I have Discord at 200% volume. Listen, this isn't Discord, this is Twitch. Things are different. Things are different. But the cool part about the ocarina songs, they teach you how to play on the major scale, which is like what you play. It's the standard do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, for those who don't do music. It's, they're fun songs to play, and they're not too hard to learn, relatively speaking. There is a website called VG Lead Sheets that I use to practice all of my video game music. For example, if you want to play the Luigi Mansions theme, bam, here it is. It's cool. That's it. But you gotta know how to read sheet music. You can learn how to read sheet music. I'm not gonna teach you. To quote Reggie Fils-Aimé, my body is ready. And to quote him again, if it's not fun, why bother? So, that's not it. That's not it. Here it is. Okay. So, FACE, yes. With the Zelda songs, just the basic, your basic Ocarina songs, it's, they're simple to learn. I say simple. I try to avoid saying something is easy unless I'm going to directly compare it to something else. But in terms of beginning Ocarina, a lot of the Zelda songs are really good starting points. For example, the Song of Time is a really good starting point because even though it's only 3 notes, it teaches you how to get basic fingerings down and how to like play in rhythm. So I'm gonna give a quick demonstration right now, actually. So the first note is an A. Oh, whoops. The next note is the D. It's shown as an E on here. This is incorrect music notation. But the next note is the D. And then it goes to an F. And it repeats. And you can teach yourself the rest of the song if you like. And the neat part about it is that it doesn't use any chromatics, or it doesn't use any sharps or flat notes. That's something I glossed over when showing the Ocarina, and you may have been curious, so I'm going to show it off now, as I learn how to click my mouse. Please? Can I? Thank you. Okay, so you may have noticed on the Ocarina, I've only been using these main finger holes like this, but you'll see there's these 2 little holes. They're called sub-holes. And what these do is they give you sharp and flat intonations, or they make the note just a tiny bit higher pitched or a tiny bit lower pitched. And here's what that sounds like. So if I'm just gonna play a G, but I was to make the note flat, it would sound like this. But if I was gonna go down to F, it sounds like this. Whoops. It's basically a half step in music tone, so it bends the pitch just a little bit. So that's what these 2 holes are used for. If you cover all the holes, you could play the low A. I'm not gonna lurk to go to the store for dinner supplies. We'll be lurking off stream. Can you get me some clothes, please, while you're at the soup store? Thanks. But yeah, that's what these 2 are for. They're for chromatics. That's what they're called, is when you play a sharp or flat note. A sharp note is a note that is just a little bit higher pitched than the note it would have been. So for example, if I'm gonna play an F sharp would sound a little higher than that, like this. That's the Jaws theme, you're welcome. So, a flat note is a note that is slightly lower. So if I was gonna play an E flat would sound like this. And as you can see, the Jaws theme can be played with any 2 chromatic notes. There's your music fun fact of the day. But yeah, don't worry too much about chromatics. I can guarantee you that nearly every Zelda song doesn't use chromatics. For example, Saria's song. I said it's Saria's song for the longest time, but apparently it's Saria's song, and when I look at it in Japanese, Saria no uta. Okay, Saria's song. Very cool. So, I like to think of Saria's song as the final boss of Ocarina themes, because it uses the full non-chromatic range of the Ocarina. So It is basically, it's the Dark Souls tutorial boss. If you can play Saria's song on the Ocarina, congratulations, you are a better Ocarina player than you probably give yourself credit for. I would say Saria's song it's a fun song to learn. It's not too tricky, but it does have its tricky moments. So why don't we go through Saria's song right now? So it starts with D, F, A. So remember, there's only 5 notes on the original Ocarina of Time Ocarina because you only have the 4 C buttons and the A button. Or was it the B button? I can't remember. Anyway, they go D, F, A, B, and D again. The higher D, not the lower D. He wants the D. You can quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. But, so with those 4 notes, 3 of them are used for Saria's song. That is the F, A, and B. And remember how the Ocarina, every note just ascends scale as your fingers go up and down, keeping your left pinky anchored. That's it. So for Saria's song, you have F, A, B. That's it. It's not, I mean, some people will be satisfied with that, but after that, it goes through the whole thing. You go to the high A, and it always goes down to a low C. And you know what? Here's a full demonstration. It took me like 3 days to learn the full song. I'm not gonna play the full song unless you guys really, really want me to. I'm also getting kind of hungry. So, let me get back to the browser. Here we are. So, the Zelda songs. Really good starting point for learning how to play Ocarina. If you're curious about Ocarina, I would say the barrier to entry to a 12-hole transverse Ocarina is about $30. If you can save up $30, you can get a quality plastic Ocarina that will last you the rest of your life. And you can play it as much as you want. You could hang it up as a decoration if you don't want to play it. You could use it. You could put it in your pocket. I put my Ocarina in my pocket and I busted out at the racetrack to play the Dutch national anthem because any F1 fan knows that the Dutch national anthem is kind of a meme. To explain what I mean by that, for those who don't know, the current defending world champion, Max Verstappen, is of Dutch nationality. Being the defending world champion, he wins a lot of races. And at the podium ceremony to celebrate the winner's national anthem is played. So we hear the Dutch national anthem a lot, to the point where I learned how to play it. I taught myself how to play it, and here it is. There's your short version. I don't feel like playing the full version. Technically, it will last longer than your entire life. Yes, it will, because it's made of plastic. It's fantastic. But yeah, ocarinas are really fun. They can be a bit loud. Higher pitched ocarinas are generally louder than lower pitched ocarinas. And I guess now's a good time, now that I've brought up chromatics, to talk about different ocarina ranges. So on the scale, it's visualized in this diagram here, but different ocarinas have different ranges. For example, a standard 12-hole alto ocarina goes from B4 to about D7, which is around this range. But there's soprano ocarinas that are very piercingly loud that can play up here. As you can see here, soprano. And tenor ocarinas that I've been playing this stream are around this range. Bass ocarinas are around this range. And contrabass ocarinas, which I'll be showcasing tomorrow, are actually way down here. And they are very quiet. I can't wait for him to bring up Metallics, the good ocarinas of the D&D universe. Huh? I don't know D&D, like, at all. I do know that I need to eat. 1 second. My parents told me to never talk with my mouth full. This is me being rude. But yeah, different ocarinas have different ranges. And actually now is a good time for me to take a break. So, after this break, I'm gonna be talking about different ocarinas, different ocarina types, and different ocarina ranges. So stay tuned, or not if you're done. Have a great day. I'll be right back. Give me about 3 minutes. Alright, we should be back. I hope we're back. Alright, welcome back. I'm back. So, continuing where we left off. Soprano ocarinas. So, the soprano ocarina I'm holding right now is actually this particular one from STL. Even though it says Amazon, you can get this one from STL. In fact, why don't we navigate to demonstrate? Dang it. I tried pressing that button and it didn't work. Okay. So it's under the Zelda ocarinas, but they have the, yep, here it is. The Soprano ocarina for 20 bucks. It's a good deal. I actually don't recommend this ocarina for beginners, and you're about to hear why. So, I know it says ideal for beginners, but this thing is high, and this thing is loud. Y'all know that I'm like the loudest MFer on this side of the country, but no, this thing's loud even by my standards. I've played this thing for you guys before, and it is insane. So, to give a demonstration, you know what? I can actually show you. Give me a moment. Aha! Here we go. So, this is that soprano ocarina, and this is the alto ocarina. Notice how the soprano one is smaller than the alto. I lost my words there. Yes, I explained the metallic good thing above. The metallic and chromatic dragons. Chromatic dragons are the bad Why are you making me say that combination of words on stream? This man, please. Please. And the metallic dragons are the good dragons on the good or evil scale. That means nothing to me out of context, not gonna lie. I don't know Dungeons and Dragons, okay? I'm so unfamiliar with these terms. By the way, I did refill this, and this will be the rest of what I'm drinking today. So, bottoms up, sailor. Now, I'm just gonna play the high C on an alto C ocarina, and it sounds like this. Right? I'm gonna play the low C on a soprano ocarina, and it sounds like this. Notice how it's the exact same note. What this means, despite I had all the holes covered for the low C, this ocarina is gonna play really high. And I'm gonna demonstrate how high it can go right now. This thing's fucking loud. Like, wow. Especially in the acoustics of this room that I'm playing in, I'm not sure how much the volume transferred through, but, this thing's loud! Well, yes, it's cheaper and smaller. It's not necessarily easy to play, because you see the holes are very close together. So even with someone with small hands like me, my fingers are still close together. So if you're one of those 6-foot chads out there, that's like almost a foot taller than I am, and you have big hands, a soprano ocarina is gonna be difficult to play. I recommend just spending the extra $5 and getting a 12-hole alto C. This is the bread and butter. This is, there goes your right ear. You're welcome. I try. But this can play you most songs. This can play you most songs an octave higher than it should be. So if I were to, for example, play Saria's song on this, it's harder to play. You could tell I was struggling with a couple notes there. I'm not used to playing this thing very much. I try to practice on it occasionally, but it's tricky to play. Worth noting, it is made of plastic. It's fantastic. You could drop it. It's fine. It won't get damaged. Unlike ceramic and clay ocarinas, which I'll get to later, they're very durable. And you can stuff them in your top pocket, take them wherever you want. It doesn't matter. That's another reason I recommend plastic ocarinas for beginner, because they sound almost just as good. Ow. And, they're cheaper. And they're more durable. They just don't sound as good. So, for a beginner player, you really don't need that extra sound. You're really just fine with this. But yeah, that is a soprano ocarina. It's high, it's loud. I'm gonna go the route of the 14-year-old on YouTube and run plastic ocarina over with your mom's van. It will break. It will break if you do that. Please do not do that unless you just feel like wasting money. I can think of so many better ways to waste money. For example, find your favorite VTuber and just super chat them. Easy. Ask me how I know. I've been doing it for years. I say super chat as a colloquial term for just throw money at them. Don't worry about it. It's part of the culture. It's fine. Up next is... we saw the soprano ocarina, but what's the other end of the spectrum? We're gonna find the bass ocarina. And the bass ocarina I'm gonna show off today is the plastic bass ocarina from STL Ocarina. These guys are big. As you can see, they're kinda big. Yes, I've been wasting too much money. Lamau, just have more money, so when you waste money, it doesn't affect you as much. Bass ocarina. So, you've heard me play the regular ocarinas. Bass ocarinas are actually my favorite. when you think of an ocarina playing, you think of something from the Ocarina of Time. Like, I'll demonstrate here. Like, it goes a little something like, like that. It sounds pleasant. It doesn't sound too low. However, that's what it sounds like on a recorder. Let me take a sippy. Playing the exact same thing on a bass ocarina sounds like this. That. So bass ocarinas that I'm about to show off, give me a second. The bass ocarina is quite large. As you can see, if I put it up side by side next to a standard alto C, the bass ocarina is quite a lot bigger than the regular one. Comparing it to a soprano one, you could practically cover the soprano and bass one. It's fine. But the bass one, this is actually my favorite ocarina to just pick up and play. Because it sounds very pleasant to listen to. It's not very loud, and it requires almost no breath pressure to play. Here we go. And you'll notice that the high C on this bass is the same as a low C on an alto. Same exact note. I find that fascinating. I love it. But yeah, bass ocarina. This thing is great. The best part is because this is exactly an octave lower than your standard alto C, you could still play the same songs on it. For example, Song of Time. How did the Song of Time go now? Crap, I forgot the Song of Time.
Skill issue.
I swear to God, some people. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. But yes, bass. Even lower than a bass ocarina, which I will be showing off tomorrow. I'm not playing it on stream today because I've been drinking and I don't want to damage it. Is the contrabass ocarina. That is this. It is not this. This is a very special ocarina. There are only 2 in the world. There's no way I can get my hands on it. But this is a contrabass ocarina. It is very large, and you will see tomorrow when I show it off. This thing is like the size of my freaking chest. It is comically large. You forgot one of the songs of all time. Yes, listen. I have been drinking. My memory sucks, and it's fine. As long as I can kind of play it, it's fine. Don't worry about it. In any case, hey, why can you post comically large things and I can't listen? Comically large musical instruments are some of my favorite things. Unironically, slight tangent. If we just look up the freaking octobass, comically large bass. That is a violin, and this is the octobass. This thing is funny. This thing is ginormous. Like, bruh. Yours aren't comical. I mean, honestly, they could be comical if done the right way. But yeah, this is the octobass. It is the largest. I'm not even gonna call it a violin. I'm gonna call it a freaking monstrosity. But it is a beautiful monstrosity. I love this thing, even though I know like next to nothing about it. But back to contrabass ocarinas. Contrabass ocarinas are very large, very low. There's videos on YouTube of people playing various songs with them. And I will be attempting to play songs tomorrow as well when I show off my very own contrabass ocarina. For the record, the contrabass ocarina I own is the Imperial City Ocarina one. Why don't we visit their website and see what they have to say about it? So, As you can see, it's not too expensive, but contrabass ocarinas are very expensive. Fancy ones easily break $600. I don't know about you, but I don't exactly have $600 to throw around. Talon! Thanks for the Prime! Thanks for the 10 months! What the wow! 10... This man has been bothering me for 10 months, which is not a true statement because it is me who has been bothering him for 10 months. Actually, it's a mutual friendship. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Welcome in, Talon. I hope you like really comically large ocarinas because this is actually a preview of tomorrow. The ocarina that I will be playing tomorrow. It's very large. It plays very low. It only has 11 holes, but don't worry about it. It doesn't need 12 holes. But yes, ocarina time. I can't play the ocarina right now, at least not the contrabass one. It's currently safely tucked in its storage pouch. And as I mentioned earlier, you do not want to play your ocarina after drinking alcohol. It will permanently damage the ocarina. How I know that is from one YouTube video of a somewhat reputable source of a semi-professional ocarina player. I'm not gonna risk it because I did not spend a freaking $160 on something that I'm just gonna destroy on stream. No thanks. I really like playing this in my off time. It sounds very soothing. I was doing a test recording actually, and it is so low and so quiet that I actually have to turn off my noise gate just for some of the notes to be heard. So tomorrow's stream is going to be a little special. An ocarina that will be played in the future. An ocarina of time, if you will. Bro, you're late to the party. I've been doing Ocarina of Time stuff this whole stream, man. It's fine. But yes, those are the general ranges of ocarina. Now, there is the freaking whatever the hell this is. These are the only two in the world that exist of this. Obviously, I don't have one of them. This is, like, if we see this here, I know the image is kind of flattened. Oh, here we go. This is the super massive, I don't even know what it's called, but this ocarina is so large, it has, like, freaking special keys just to cover the holes. It's so large. I can't with this thing. If you're curious as to how this sounds, there are a couple YouTube videos from STL Ocarina that have a professional ocarina player play it as part of a ocarina ensemble. And you can hear just how low it goes. It is almost inaudible, so you have to wear headphones just to hear it. But yeah, I'm just astonished that it even exists. I don't even want one, because I know I would never be able to handle one. And this thing is probably, like, 5 figures in price, based on how large it is. Like, the fact that only 2 exist, like, that tells you, like, you're not getting your hands on one. This is a museum piece. Based? Yeah, it's like sub-contra-based is what it is. But there is another kind of ocarina that I have not yet touched upon. So, earlier in the stream, I mentioned that the ocarina's range is generally limited to an octave and a fifth. And here is that full range for you to hear, starting with the low A and ending in a high F. Oh. That is the full range of a standard 12-hole ocarina. But what if you want more range? What if the song you're playing requires more range than that? Or what if you just want more range? We got you, fam. Introducing multi-chambered ocarinas. And I could probably spell that right if I wasn't intoxicated. So, as this infographic eloquently demonstrates, all a multi-chamber ocarina is just 2 ocarinas glued together. That's literally all it is. So in the first chamber, you have your standard 12-hole ocarina setup, but the second chamber goes into the higher ranges. And as you can see, there are a lot of different types of multi-chambered ocarinas out there. There's even triple-chambered ocarinas, and they get really, really, really expensive. But for these special ocarinas, fortunately, I actually have one to demonstrate on stream for you guys today. What I have here in my hands is the STL plastic triple ocarina. And you see it has a lot of holes. So how you hold this thing is kind of funny, actually. So you have your 3 sound holes up here, and you only have 1 thumb hole over here. These 2 holes over here are sound holes. You don't want to cover them. But you really actually hold it like a regular transverse ocarina, treating the first chamber as a regular transverse ocarina, and it sounds just like one. It's the same ocarina in the first chamber. However, there's multiple chambers, and how you switch chambers is actually through different mouth holes. There are 3 mouth holes that you blow into. There's your first one, second chamber, and third chamber. And the higher chamber you go, the higher note you get. So I'm going to demonstrate that by just playing a scale. Onto the second chamber. And onto the third chamber. Oh god, I hate doing that. But yes, the highest note is the highest note on the third chamber, which is the A7. It's very loud and very piercing. If I were to demonstrate what an A7 looks like, give me a second. If we look at the A7 note, oh, there it is. Even if you don't know anything about music, you can see that this note is really, 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 really high. It's high. It's very high. Where is it on the piano? Where could I find it on piano? There we go. Where is it on the piano? Please? Alright. We're pulling out the big guns. Go to virtual piano. Give me the A7. No. No. Yes, thank you. Wow. This piano doesn't even display the A7. Anyway, here's an A6. Let me turn this off. Oh, it's an A6. Very cool. It's an A6. Still really fucking high. Don't worry about it. It's fine. But yeah. That's the upper range of the ocarina. So, another, there are multi-chambered ocarinas for all purposes. And actually, some of my favorites are multi-chambered bass ocarina. So the multi-chambered bass ocarinas are usually ludicrously expensive. For example, if we were to go to, you know what? STL has a couple. Why don't we look at some? So, in their multi-chamber category, their purple clay, or rather their regular, where's their regular bass? They have the max range triple bass. Their purple clay triple bass is $749. No thank you. But yeah, as you can see, multi-chambered bass ocarinas, they're very expensive, but they combine the traits of a bass ocarina with a regular alto ocarina, and you could basically play a lot of songs like that, and they're very pleasant to listen to. But yeah, multi-chambered ocarinas, as you can see from their website, are very expensive. By the way, this is the ocarina I showed off earlier. The plastic triple ocarina is like $65. So if you're thinking of getting one, just know it's a little pricey, but nowhere near as pricey as like actual multi-chambered ocarinas. So, yeah, know what you're getting into, I guess. I strongly recommend avoiding multi-chambered ocarinas. until after you've practiced on a regular ocarina and feel like you could actually benefit from the extra range. Because when I'm on VG lead sheets, for example, and I want to play Rainbow Road from Mario Kart 64, this high A right here, I cannot play on a regular ocarina. I have to use the second chamber of my multi-chambered ocarina for this. And this high D down here actually requires the third chamber. So Rainbow Road from Mario Kart 64 is my go-to song to practice my triple-chambered ocarina because it uses all three chambers. And it's a work in progress. There's a pretty steep-ish learning curve with multi-chambered ocarinas because in order to play them, you know what? Jamie, pull up the webcam demonstration. Give me a moment. Alright. So to play a multi-chamber ocarina, once you hit like a regular high D, then you have to switch chambers. So that goes from your first chamber fingerings to your second. So you have to practice swapping your fingering from the second. One neat thing about this is that the second chamber is completely independent of the first chamber. Check this out. This is completely disconnected and uses the second mouth hole. Likewise, the first chamber is completely disconnected from the second one. So, that's one of the neat things about multi-chambered ocarinas. But, the plastic one does sound airy in the higher notes, but it's good for practice and learning how a multi-chambered ocarina works. But, quality multi-chambered ocarinas, there's no sugarcoating it. They're expensive. You're gonna be shelling out at least $100 for a cheap non-plastic one, and there's no getting around that. But fortunately, you don't need one. You really don't, unless you want to, like, really practice your ocarina playing. You can play most songs with just a regular 12-hole ocarina, which is what I started with. This was actually my first ocarina. This is the Night by Noble Alto C Ocarina, which can be found on Amazon for $30. $33, I believe. And, this has pretty good sound quality and good material quality. This does not feel like it's made of cheap plastic. It feels good to hold, and it has like this different finish near the mouthpiece, such that it like conforms to your lips and doesn't feel coarse. Like, this has kind of a rubbery texture to it, whereas the mouthpiece retains its plastic texture. So it's like, it's easy on your lips, but ergonomic and grippy for your fingers. And it even comes with a little neck strap hole right here, so you could wear it around your neck as a necklace. Or, like, wear it as a neck strap so you don't have to hold it. I don't have my neck strap attached, and don't worry about it. It's very lightweight, easy to play, easy to learn. It's fun. It's just a lot of fun. So yeah, that's ocarinas in a shell nut. Let me get back here. And, whoops, wrong toggle. There we go. So yeah, that's multi-chamber ocarinas. That's pretty much most of the ocarina rabbit hole. Now, there are a lot of YouTube videos that demonstrate crazy capabilities. There's, like, for example, I forgot his name. This guy here, I can't remember his name, but if you just look up, like, ocarina videos on YouTube, Andy Cormier, there he is. That's who this guy is. He has several helpful ocarina tutorials, as well as informational videos, as well as like introductions to different reviews of different multi-chambered ocarinas, if you're curious. And it's very informative. I've pretty much watched all of his ocarina videos. At work, obviously. Why would I watch a video if I'm not being paid to watch it, right? But yeah, if you're curious about ocarinas, there are so many helpful resources, and I'd like to once again remind you that it is a very beginner-friendly instrument. You can just pick up and play a scale within minutes. You just pick it up and blow. One thing I did not cover, however, that I'd like to cover, is the concept of breath pressure. What that means is when you blow into an ocarina, the note probably isn't going to sound the same every time unless you blow it the same strength. And here's what that sounds like. Give me a second. All right. So if I were to just play the same note, a low C, here's what it sounds like. However, if I was to gradually blow stronger, here's what that would sound like. Notice how the pitch increased. The ocarina's tone is directly proportional to how strong you're blowing in it. So I can do funny things like this. Notice how my fingers did not move, but the tone of the ocarina changed. It kind of did this wavy thing. That's because I was starting to blow harder, then blowing softer, then blowing harder, then blowing softer. The breath pressure on the ocarina is what dictates the tone. And the higher you go on the ocarina, the higher note you play, usually the more breath pressure you need to play it. So you're going to need to blow slightly harder to play higher notes as you ascend the scale to keep the ocarina in tune. This doesn't sound nearly as bad as you think. You get used to it really quickly. And you can do some funny things. For example, dynamics on an ocarina. Dynamics is a musical concept that is simply the volume of the sound. It basically determines loud notes versus quiet notes. So if I were to play a very quiet D versus a normal volume C, it should sound the same. And I was going to play a really loud B, which is a note below C. It actually sounded a bit higher. I was blowing extra hard. So you could take advantage of how strong or how weak you can blow to play different dynamics on the ocarina. This is a very advanced topic that I've never put into practice because the ocarina sounds decent at just one volume. But the option's there. If you wanted to play a particular note louder, play the note below it, but blow harder. If you want to play a note quieter, play the note above it, but blow softer. That's it. That's some fun things you can do with an ocarina. Also, in Ocarina of Time, if there are methods of playing the Ocarina and Ocarina of Time, I can guarantee you every note playable in the Ocarina of Time game is playable on a real ocarina. And I know there are ways of playing different notes. For example, if I could look up all note controls. So yeah, I actually played this when I was a little kid, playing Ocarina of Time. If you, it's actually in the note as, in the instruction manuals as well. If I just, where is it? Here it is. So, in this post, this is in the manual. I never had the manual. I learned this from like a GameFAQs blog. You can play other songs that aren't in the Ocarina of Time catalog on the Ocarina of Time ocarina by using the control stick and the Z button for chromatics and other notes. So I actually learned how to play the full Ocarina of Time theme on Ocarina of Time's ocarina without actually triggering the song. And now I could play it in real life, and it's like comes full circle. So if you didn't know that about The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, now you know. It's even in the freaking instruction manual, as you're seeing here. It's pretty cool. But as you can see, every single one of these notes is perfectly playable on a real ocarina. In fact, the ocarina not only plays all these notes, but one note lower than the note shown here. So, a real ocarina has one note more than the exact range that is playable in the Ocarina of Time. So when I say I own the real Ocarina of Time, I'm not kidding. It's the Ocarina of Time. And you can get one too. In fact, Jamie, pull up the real Ocarina of Time. They have a full Zelda catalog on the STL website. This is the plastic ocarina that I've been showing off. It's on sale for $25. It's actually even cheaper than that now due to Black Friday. 30% off. Not sponsored, by the way. If you want to get one, now's the time. Only get it if you're financially available. The one that I have, the ceramic one, is this one. It sounds fantastic. And it's currently $60. It's kind of pricey. But if you really like the bass sounding ocarina, they actually do make a bass version. I do not own this one, and I do not plan on getting it. But it sounds, bass ocarinas sound really good. Like my plastic one, if that's anything to go by. Bass ocarinas sound fantastic. But this is their bass Ocarina of Time. It's kind of big, and it's a little heavy, I would imagine, because it's made of ceramic and not plastic. But the bass ocarina that I have is in their plastic category. It's their plastic bass ocarina, which is the same price as their ceramic Ocarina of Time. But casual reminder that their, no, not that one. Their bass ocarina is $200, but it's a bass ocarina. The reason bass ocarinas are so expensive is because not only are they made out of ceramic, so that's a more expensive material than plastic, but they're a lot larger, a lot heavier, and I would imagine harder to tune because they're just so big. But I find bass ocarinas to be fun. If I were to recommend one, it'd be the plastic one. Where'd it go? Yeah, I have so much fun on the plastic bass, but you really don't need a bass ocarina. It's big, it's fun. I play it on karaoke nights. I've turned it into like a beatboxing machine almost. But yeah, bass ocarinas. As I said earlier, what you want to avoid as a beginner is the soprano ocarina. Like, soprano ocarinas are very small, so they're gonna be pretty cheap, but they are very piercing, and it's harder to get the tones that you want because the breath pressure on a soprano ocarina is a lot more sensitive, and I'll demonstrate that to you now with my soprano ocarina. This is the exact soprano ocarina that I just pulled up on screen. And if I am to find, here it is. Okay, so here we go. So I'm gonna try to maintain a breath pressure. But if I were to just increase ever so slightly, notice how I went up like a freaking semitone just increasing it. Also, as you go up the scale, the breath pressure gets very finicky. You want to blow harder, but blow too hard and it'll squeak. And this is what that sounds like. Notice how the sound's not even coming out because I'm blowing just a little bit too hard. But if I just ease the air back just a little bit, I'm barely blowing into it. I'm just using just a tiny little airstream going through. But if I was to blow too hard, here's what that sounds like. Notice how the sound just stops after a certain point. It's really tricky to get the notes to play from the higher registers on the soprano ocarina because you need to have a very trained and steady breath pressure. And this is just something that all ocarina players have to deal with, which is why I don't recommend a soprano ocarina to start. Start with the alto or tenor on their website. It's an alto. If I were to do the same exact thing on this ocarina, here's what that sounds like. Notice how I could blow really hard and the sound didn't die out at all. However, if I blow too hard, it'll squeak, and here's what that sounds like. You don't want that. You never want that. If you blow way too hard, it's gonna squeak. Squeaking is most common in the highest note, which is F, and here's what that sounds like. If you blow too hard on an F, it squeaks. You want to get that breath pressure just right. It takes just a tiny bit of practice. F to pay respects. But that's ocarinas in a nutshell. They're really fun to play with. I love them. My current ocarina collection, you know what? I'm going to show it off tomorrow, but I'm going to show it off now. I currently have the STL Ocarina of Time plastic. I have the Ocarina of Time ceramic that I showed off down there. I have the Night by Noble Alto C. I have the STL plastic base C. I have the STL plastic triple Alto C Ocarina. This has ridiculous range. My only complaint is that the high D of the first chamber sounds like garbage. And this is what it sounds like. It didn't even come out. Give me a second. I need to clear the airway. Hopefully this is what it sounds like. Which leads me to my next topic. Plastic ocarinas. They are made of plastic. They are not made of clay, and they are not made of ceramic. They're made of plastic, which means... Ow, fuck. Which means they don't absorb moisture at all. I'll get to talking about different materials in a second, but basically what you want to know, if you're playing your plastic ocarina and it stops sounding how you want it, some of the notes aren't coming out, here's what you do. Take a cloth unless you want to spit all over your thumb. If you want to spit all over your thumb, on a regular ocarina, cover the sound hole. Let me grab the... Cover the sound hole. That's the top hole here, not the thumb hole. Cover it. I'd say cover it with a cloth because you're about to clear all the spit out from the blowhole. You just cover it and blow really hard. The result is that you're gonna get a little moisture. You're gonna get spit on the cloth or your thumb if you chose to cover it with your thumb like a freaking madman. But the result is that it clears the airway, so the moisture accumulated in the airway isn't blocking the tone. This is just a natural consequence of plastic ocarinas. It's something you just have to deal with plastic ocarinas. The same can be said of a plastic recorder, but to a lesser extent. My plastic recorder does not get nearly as waterlogged, but when I've been playing for a while, like practicing like the Freebird solo, I noticed that the bottom starts dripping saliva, and I'm like, that is freaking disgusting. But yeah, that's how you basically clean out your plastic ocarina. And if you're really paranoid, what you can do, because it's made of plastic, you can just dip it in water and dry it off and leave it to dry and it'll be just fine. I do not recommend that with other materials. But other material ocarinas, let's get into that now actually, because that's a subject I haven't talked about. So, other ocarina materials include, if we go to their 12-hole ocarina section, most of their ocarinas, they have some really cool ocarinas, by the way. For example, they have a dragon-themed ocarina. This thing is literally a dragon head. And they have a phoenix head. Like, STL has all of the stylish ocarinas. You could check them out if you want. But most of their ocarinas are made of ceramic. Ceramic is a really good material for ocarina because it's like special fired clay. And they sound really good. They're a little heavy and they're very fragile and brittle. You may recognize all these ocarinas. These are on my throne wish list. But where's their purple clay collection? I don't think it's gonna be here, but all of these are made of ceramic except for this plastic one. If we go to their for professionals here, another material is clay, namely purple clay. So purple clay is special in that it is an extremely porous clay. If you don't know what porous means, it means it has a lot of holes in it. And you may be thinking, man, a lot of holes? That's gonna let all the air escape. The holes don't penetrate the full ocarina. It just gives the air and moisture and extra space to go. And what that means is that it's still widely contested with musicians, but the way it's advertised is the more you play it, the better it sounds, because all the porous clay absorbs the moisture over time. So the moisture that's generated from your breath from playing it will get absorbed and very subtly change the ocarina's tone the more you play it, and it'll only get better the more you play it. So, purple clay, as you can see, very expensive. Very, very expensive. These are for professionals. And, spoiler alert, my contrabass is made of purple clay. Don't worry about it. You can get a cheap purple clay ocarina for, well, a tiny one for $45, but a soprano one starts at $80, and a regular C ocarina that has all the regular notes starts at freaking $160. That's a lot. So, if you don't want a fancy looking purple clay, you can get a raw purple clay ocarina from not STL, Imperial City Ocarina. So this is the site that I came to earlier for my contrabass ocarina, but their purple clay ocarinas, as you can see, you can get a handcrafted Alto C purple clay ocarina for $52 plus shipping. Now the thing about this is, as you can see, it looks very plain. Compare that to the purple clay ocarina here. That looks very fancy. And the reason why it's so much cheaper, let me get out of that. The reason why this one is half the freaking price or less is because this doesn't have that second finish of that the other professionals use. Based on my contrabass ocarina, this the purple clay that the Imperial City Ocarina produces, it feels not necessarily coarse, but it feels raw. Sippy time. Thank ya. I am now slightly more drunk than before you redeemed that. You're welcome. So, it's not a downside. Basically, your ocarina is gonna look very plain, but it is going to sound just as good as a professionally made one. And that's why I wanted to try the contrabass ocarina. It's very expensive, but I saved up thanks to overtime at my job. I used my overtime funds to get me one of these, and I will be showing it off on stream tomorrow. And I'm really looking forward to it. This thing is absolutely fucking massive.
Very dangerous.
Like, I'm gonna have my webcam on tomorrow, and it's gonna be funny how big this thing is. And it's heavy, it's big, it's low, but I love playing it. It sounds ethereal. It sounds surreal. It has this tone to it that is so hard to describe. And I really hope my microphone can pick it up well enough to just transmit how unique and crazy this thing sounds. I'm so happy I ordered it. Like, yes, it's expensive. Humble brag. Fucking call me out and I don't give a shit. It's a novelty, almost. It is a novelty. It is a novelty. I hit the wrong button there. I say it's a novelty because there's almost no reason anyone needs to play contrabass. Like, bass is low enough. To give a demonstration of sound again, this is how a regular ocarina sounds. I'm gonna play it from the top down. So keep that last note in mind. This is how a regular bass ocarina sounds going top down. That was the plastic STL bass ocarina. And now just imagine going down that scale even further again. That is the contrabass ocarina. And like like I said, it goes so low, my noise gate filters it out. Tomorrow's stream, I'll have to disable the noise gate, which means I'll have to be really careful about like chairs squeaking and keyboard noises and all that fancy stuff. But I'm looking forward to trying it. It's gonna be kind of an experimental stream. I'll be taking free requests to play songs on it all stream. So, like, any ocarina play requests will be refunded for tomorrow's stream, because if you have a song you want me to try, I will try it. Like, I really want to share this contrabass ocarina with you guys. I can't today, because I've been drinking alcohol, and the alcohol particles will damage the inside of your clay ocarinas. This includes ceramic. However, plastic is plastic. I don't give a shit. I can wash the plastic. This is why I've been playing my plastic ocarinas for you guys today. So that's what made this stream possible. Alright. And with that, I'm actually, not only am I running out of subjects to talk about, because I've covered pretty much everything there is to know about ocarina playing and ocarinas. Except, I guess the only thing I could cover is triple bass ocarina is, oh, wait, not that one. It's triple bass ocarina. It's like a little cheaper, but this thing, massive and heavy, and is the same price, well, not price. It has a crazy range. This is basically a bass ocarina and an alto ocarina in one. It plays up to a G6. I think a G6 sounds like this. So that's like the middle note of a standard alto ocarina. So it's like half of it's a full bass ocarina with alto ocarina capabilities. Because if I were to emulate what it would sound like with my bass ocarina here, starting at C4. Here we go, C4. And that's C5. Starting from C5 on my alto, that's C6. Wait. G6 is even higher than that. This thing is more than both a... Wow. No wonder Andy Cormier made a whole video about this bass ocarina. This bass triple has more capability than a bass C and alto C 12-hole ocarina combined. The drawback is that it's really heavy, and it has 3 chambers, so that is a huge learning curve. It's also kind of expensive. I don't know about you, but I'm not ready to just throw $150 plus shipping. That's expensive. I'd say this might just be on like, whatever, it's fine, don't worry about it. It's fine. But yeah, ocarinas. Shoutouts also. I've been hyping up STL Ocarina, but shout out to Songbird Ocarina. I haven't bought any Songbird Ocarinas, however, Songbird Ocarina... What the hell are these? This isn't... No, where's the Transverse? There we go. Songbird Ocarina also sells good ocarinas. Based on what I've seen from professional ocarina players on YouTube, they play Songbird Ocarinas. I personally have not gotten any of these because I already have the ocarinas that I want, and most of their cool ocarinas are sold out. But they also have Ocarina of Time ocarinas. One thing you may notice is that the fingering is a little bit different. You'll see on this ocarina here, notice how the 2 subholes are on this half of the ocarina, whereas the previous ocarinas that I've shown off, the subholes are on opposite sides. These parallel subholes here for the flat notes, this is the Korean fingering, whereas this is the Greater Asian fingering. I would prefer split subholes, but some people prefer the singular subholes because your chromatics are bound to one hand instead of 2. That said, if I'm gonna demonstrate once more, chromatics on the ocarina with your 2 subholes here. So you got one right here and you got one right here, right? All of your subholes are dealt with just this one. The only reason you would use this subhole here is to play the lowest note, and that is with all holes covered, and it sounds like the low A, like this. And you could go up chromatically to a B flat, to a B, it's kind of tricky. It's more, they sound almost the same. Like, you could kind of interchange them. It's funny, like, if you're playing a low B, you could interchange them, but I'm so used to using the right-hand subhole for my chromatics that this left-hand subhole is only exclusively for playing the low A. Like that. That's it. So, if you prefer using your right hand for both chromatics, go for it. But that's just for the low A. Instead of using your left hand for the low A, you would be using your right hand. It's really a matter of preference. I have not had any experience with the Korean fingerstyle, and quite frankly, I have no interest in it because I already know I would prefer the transverse separate style, but it's an option if you want it. So, they even sell a treasure chest that goes with it. You can get a treasure chest for your Ocarina of Time if you'd like. But yeah, the Songbird Ocarinas are good. But you'll notice that their contrabass ocarina, it plays just as well as the earlier contrabass ocarina, because I've heard a YouTube video of someone playing it, but it has a Strawfire finish. And that makes it look cool and shiny and professional looking. So, I will admit, my contrabass ocarina from Imperial City, it does look very coarse. It looks very plain clay. But that's what makes it so affordable. And it even says on his website in that the reason his ocarinas are more affordable is because they don't go through this Strawfire finish process to make it look fancy. They provide you bang for the buck. But it doesn't look as cool. And as someone who has the puzzle piece, I don't really care too much about looks if it comes to saving literally $500. This thing is freaking crazy. I do not need this. In fact, I do not even want this. I have a contrabass ocarina that I am happy with. But yeah, this is their ocarina setup. Now, one of their ocarinas that I do want is their Harmony Triple Ocarina. So I'd like to talk more about triple ocarinas, namely overlapping notes. So to switch cameras again, damn, I'm switching cameras a lot. So the scale increases with each chamber, with no overlapping notes, meaning every chamber plays its own set of notes. And here's what that sounds like, starting with G. Second chamber. So notice how the highest note of the first chamber, which is a E flat or D sharp, in the second chamber, the lowest note is an E. So, because of that, no notes overlap. This is to maximize range. However, if there ever comes a point where you need to swap quickly between D and E, you need to swap mouth holes. And at that point, I'm playing a harmonica. The last chamber is the boss room! So, to mitigate this, some ocarinas purposely overlap some notes between chambers. So, the second chamber of this ocarina mimics the right hand of the first chamber, and the third chamber mimics the left hand of the second chamber in terms of intonation. So while there are a lot of overlapping notes, it is very intuitive to play. And in fact, Andy Cormier has a full review of this particular Songbird Harmony Triple Ocarina that you could watch if you'd like a more in-depth explanation as to what I mean by that. But the playing is very intuitive because your fingers are already used to playing those notes. It would just be an octave higher in the next chamber up. So, because of that, while the range this ocarina provides isn't as great as standard triple alto C ocarinas, it makes up for that in ease of play, as well as being able to play multiple notes simultaneously. And what I mean by that, you may notice that in the triple ocarina, there are multiple mouth holes. But you're only meant to play one mouth hole at a time. But what if you tried to blow in two at once? Here's what that would sound like. But you could play multiple notes at the same time. And it sounds fucking miserable if you don't know what you're doing. However, with the Songbird Harmony Triple Ocarina, because the notes overlap so much, you can actually make some pretty fantastic harmonies a lot easier because of the harmony overlap. That's why it's called the Songbird Harmony Triple Ocarina. It's a triple ocarina, triple meaning there's 3 chambers, so 3 mouth holes, and Songbird is the brand. Bam. The only downside? It's fucking expensive! But it's fine. Fine, I don't need it. I do not need it. Fine. And on that terrible disappointment, I've actually reached the 2-hour mark. And conveniently enough, I have exhausted everything that I wanted to talk about. This is all I wanted to say about ocarinas. So why don't we head on back to my room and cool down? That was a fun stream. It's been so long since I've done one of these Tipsy Talk streams. Thank you all so much for coming. This is fun. I really like this. I like this a lot. Like, I mean, I know it's a Sunday and I have work tomorrow, but I have a really long week. I feel like I deserve this. This is fine. I needed this. I needed just a day to just let loose, relax, whatever. It's fine, etc. Who can we raid? Oh, Bono's on. We can raid Bono. So for those who don't know, Bono Jimbo, as I call her, Bono Jim, she normally streams at like crazy, ridiculous hours of the night because of her work or sleep schedule. Drunk. Because of her sleep schedule. But it's fine. Yeah, we can just say hi to her. My next stream is actually tomorrow at the usual starting time of 4 p.m. Eastern, or Eastern, no, 4 p.m. Western time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. The schedule is up in my Discord, as well as on Twitch. I regularly update my Twitch schedule when I can. I cannot update it on mobile, so if I cancel stream while I'm at work, it will appear as if the stream was canceled last minute, which is unfortunate, but blame the Twitch app for that. Yeah, I'm streaming tomorrow, and I will be showing off my Contrabass Ocarina tomorrow. It's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Until then, thank you all so much for coming to my Ocarina talk. This was fun. I really like this. This was a lot of fun. And with that, I will catch you all tomorrow. Let's all go say hi to Bono. Contra. Hell yeah, I love that game. Yeah, Contra. That's the Rain Shadow Legends. Yeah. All right. Everybody take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I'll catch you in the next stream tomorrow. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you all learned a bit about ocarinas. And if you are interested in learning ocarina or interested in getting one yourself, feel free to talk to me. Just in the server, DM me if you really want to. I'm fine. Yeah, the Mets. Let's go. Let's go Mets. Let's go the Mets. The Mets are gonna play the ocarina and win. Yeah. And with that, you know, that's not even a disappointment. That's just a win. Let's go Mets. All right, Mets, take us to victory and take us to Bono Jimbo for the raid. Yeah. thank you so much for coming to my stream.